Hello, student. Am I audible? Rahul Sood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shivam is here or not? Okay, students, so let's start. I have sent you the notes of today's class. So we are going to discuss these notes. And today we are going to discuss the uh, Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics or Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution functions. Maxwell distribution function is applicable to the classical particles or classical system. Example is that a gas is filled, atomic gas or the molecular gas filled in a container or vessel. So this is the the system under this category will follow the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. This is the classical. Okay. In case of the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution statistics or function, the particles or the molecules or atoms are identical, but you can distinguish them. Okay, this is the A, this is the B, and this is the C. So, student, go to the first page. On the first page, we are going to discuss the phase space. Okay, actually, quantum mechanically, a particle or a atom or molecules described by the two very important parameters we have studied in the time plus 2, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. In the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, you describe the two parameters to describe the particles or the electron, proton, neutron, or atoms or molecules or lattice or whatever. Okay, so this was the location or position of the particles and the what is the energy of the, what is the momentum of the particle. Okay, so that is described by the two parameters quantum mechanically: position and locations. Position and linear momentum, and how they are connected. They are connected through the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So, if there is the uncertainty in the position of the particle and uncertainty in the momentum of the particle, so that will be delta x into delta p is equal to h cross h cross. Okay, so this is the way how the particle is described, and the main task of
हेलो
the hello
सर
hello
सर मैं
Vikas.
पूछ रहा था ये हम हाइजेनबर्ग अनसर्टेनिटी प्रिंसिपल कर रहे हैं या फिर हम मैक्सवेल बोल्ट्जमैन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कर रहे हैं
हम मैक्सवेल बोल्ट्जमैन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करेंगे उससे पहले। हेलो,
हाँ सर
अरे आवाज क्यों आ रही है आपकी साइड से? अपना माइक म्यूट करो। हाँ, हम मैक्सवेल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉ करेंगे और मैक्सवेल बोल्ट्जमैन स्टैटिस्टिक्स करेंगे। उससे पहले वी हैव टू डू द phase space where we are going to calculate these things. Okay, because one, okay,
ओके सर
yeah. So phase space, like in special theory of relativity, general theory of relativity, in the first semester of the optics paper, you have studied the special theory of relativity, where a system or the you need four coordinates to specify the system: inner self frame and the non-inertial frame. Okay, so you needed four coordinates: x, y, z, and the time. Okay, in that case you can describe the system, and if you describe the inertial frame of system, then you can study the particular object, is subtle satellite, space, location, or whatever. Okay, so similarly here, uh, in Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, you describe a particular space. So, like a gas filled in a container or a semiconductor material, uh, there is a uh, lot number of either the semiconductor is the p type or n type or the intrinsic semiconductor material. So you want to determine the number of constituent particles, number of the magnetic carriers, electrons, or the number of carriers, magnetic carriers, holes, okay, or magnetic carriers. It depends for your application or what parameters you want to study. Sometimes you want to determine the magnetic carriers. If you want to calculate the magnetic carrier in the semiconductor material, then you have to perform the Hall effect. Okay, so Hall effect determine the magnetic carriers, and if you want to study the effect, uh, maybe for some application, the magnetic carriers. So you have to do the Hans-Shockley experiment that determine the number of the magnetic carriers. Okay, so mainly the task of the statistical mechanics is to determine how the number of particles are distributed in a particular state or given state. Okay. So in quantum statistical mechanics, you have to describe the space by six coordinates of the particles: electron, proton, or the atoms or molecules, or group of atoms or group of molecules, or lattice. Okay. Mainly the any gaseous system, solid state system, or liquid system composed of the some atoms or molecules or lattice. Okay, like the semiconductor material. Semiconductor material is formed. Semiconductor material is of two types: amorphous semiconductor material and the crystalline semiconductor materials. So in a crystalline semiconductor material, the atoms or group of atoms or molecules or lattice is repeated periodically in three directions: x, y, z, and then it make up the semiconductor material or any material. In amorphous material, the periodicity is not regular; it is irregular. Okay, so when you study the spectra taken by the crystalline semiconductor material and the amorphous material, there is a large difference between two types of the spectra. So on the basis of the spectra, you can identify which is the crystalline material and which is the amorphous material. Well, anyway, this is the different thing. So we are talking about the phase space. So phase space is a space in the system, like the helium gas filled in the container. Then how the atoms or molecules is described in space. Okay, this is called the phase space. So phase space is the space which is described by the six coordinates. So, three are the space coordinates x, y, and z. Okay, and three the momentum coordinates px, py, and pz. Okay, so these coordinates may be described in rectangular coordinate system as well as in the spherical coordinate system. Okay, so the space which is described by the three spatial coordinates x, y, z, and three momentum, linear momentum, which is are the px, py, and pz. So such a space is called the phase space. So the volume of the phase space is in this uh, first page. I have given d tau is equal to dx, dy, dz, and dpx, dpy, dpz. This is the volume of the cell, and cell constitute the total phase space. Okay. So if you suppose this phase space having the six coordinates, okay. So suppose you are first talking about only one direction, like the one linear, one dimensional motion. So according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, so this will be dx dpx equal to h cross. And similarly in the y direction, the product of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle will be dy dpy is equal to h cross. And in the z direction, this will be dz dpz equal to h cross. So if you want to calculate the volume of the cell in phase space, so you have to multiply the three dimensions parameters. So in that case, d tau will be h cross q. So h cross is equal to h upon 2 pi. There is a some notation used in solid state system, in optics. So the for simplicity, somewhere we use h cross, somewhere we use h. Okay, so this is not a big difference. H cross will be h upon 2 pi. This is equal to 1.054 into 10 raised minus 34 joule per second, and h is equal to 6.6 into 10 raised minus 34 joule per second. So this is not a big difference. So if you want to describe the system, this is the classical system or the quantum mechanical system. So there is a one de Broglie wavelength. Okay, So in 10 plus 2 or in the first unit, you will study the de Broglie wavelength. There is a topic in the first unit of this paper, de Broglie wavelength. And in 10 plus 2, you have also heard about the de Broglie wavelength. Okay. So when a particle travels in the free space or the medium, then a wave is associated with the particle. This is called the de Broglie wavelength. Okay. And de Broglie wavelength is defined lambda is equal to h upon p, where h is the Planck constant and p is the momentum of the particle. If the particle is traveling some speed, finite speed v. Okay. So suppose you have filled a gas like the helium gas in the container. So the atoms are wandering or roaming in the container. They are striking, they are colliding, they are scattering to each other. Okay. So there is a some certain distance between the two atoms in when the system is in equilibrium, uh, equilibrium. Okay. So suppose there is some distance between the two atoms or molecules, and now you have to calculate the de Broglie wavelength. Okay. So de Broglie wavelength, if you calculate the three-dimensional system, this will be lambda is equal to, on the first page I have described the formula, lambda is equal to h upon under root 3 m kbt. And here all there may be the rotational and vibrational motion of the particles or atoms or molecules. We have considered in case of the gaseous system only the translation motion of the uh, atoms or molecules. Okay. So if we consider only the translation motion of the atoms in three dimension, x, y, and z, and in that case the there are 3 degrees of freedom. So so the de Broglie wavelength will be lambda is equal to h upon 3 m kbt. So now you have to consider the de Broglie wavelength with the interatomic distance between the two atoms or molecules. So if the lambda is larger than the interatomic distance, then this means that the atoms or molecules will not interact to each other. Okay. Atoms or molecules will not interact to each other. So in the first semester, like you have studied the helium neon laser. Okay. In helium neon laser, you got the light of the coherent light 6, 3 to 8 angstrom, and there were two gas there, helium and neon, and laser action was taking place inside the neon atoms. So what is the role of the helium atoms in the helium neon laser? Deepak Kumar. Deepak. Hello, Deepak, are you here? Amartya Krishna. Amartya Krishna.
Yes, sir.
Ah, so what is the role of the helium gas in the helium neon laser?
Sir, to for excitation energy. Sir,
To achieve the population inversion in
version.
the
Uh,
neon gas.
yes.
Because laser action is taking place in the neon, not in the helium. So the efficiency of the neon system was less than the expectation, or the intensity in that case will be lower of the laser. So to enhance the intensity of the helium neon laser, we have to achieve the population inversion, high population inversion, because the intensity of the laser depends on the population inversion. So helium gas was added to the uh, helium neon laser. So the thing is that in that case, the helium neon laser, that there are two types of the atoms, helium atoms and the neon atom. So are the helium atoms and the neon atoms are interacting to each other at a given pressure where the intensity is maximum or optimized. Okay, the question is this. So, or which statistics helium atoms and neon atoms are following in the helium neon laser? So you have to calculate the de Broglie wavelength of the neon atoms or the helium atoms and the interatomic distance. Okay, so if you know the volume of the system and total number of atoms of the helium atoms or neon atoms and both, and you can determine the interatomic distance. And if you know the mass of the helium atoms, neon atoms, and given temperature, then you may be calculate the de Broglie wavelength. So that at a given pressure, to optimize the intensity of the helium neon laser, the pressure was such that, or the amount of the gas was such that the de Broglie wavelength was higher, larger than the interatomic distance. Okay, so you can say that helium neon laser, the system is following the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law. Okay, but if you go inside the helium atoms or the neon atoms, then certainly there will be the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution statistics will fail, and the Fermi-Dirac statistics or the Bose-Einstein statistic will be followed. Okay, so obviously inside there is a configuration of the electrons in the different orbits. So this is the only Fermi-Dirac statistic that will be followed. Okay, so you can decide which statistics work which system. In semiconductor material, when the electrons are distributed in different energy levels or bands, conduction band and valence band, so obviously the Fermi-Dirac statistic will be followed, because in each state only one electron will be occupied. Okay. In case of the superconductors, where the resistance becomes zero, there the Bose-Einstein statistics will be followed. Okay. In superfluidity or liquid helium, liquid nitrogen, uh, this is the system where the Bose-Einstein statistic will be followed. In black hole, white dwarf, this will be the Fermi-Dirac statistic that will be followed. So there are many applications and there are many cases you can study. And as a computer scientist, computer engineers, you have to understand the quantum statistical mechanics that will be applicable for many information to process. Okay, that's a different thing. We are not going to discuss. Okay, so if the de Broglie wavelength of the particles or molecules in a system is less than the interatomic distance, then this will be the case of the quantum statistical mechanics. And there, either it will be the Bose-Einstein statistics or Fermi-Dirac statistics. Okay, and there Maxwell-Boltzmann statistic will not work. Okay, so in this way you can identify this system will be under the category of the Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, and this system will be under the Bose-Einstein and Fermi-Dirac statistics. Okay, so this was the phase space, and because your exam is be going held as a objective exam, so there may be 2 or 3 questions from this from the phase space. So please study carefully and study yourself, and in the next class ask me question or ask me your doubt about the phase space. Okay, and I will give you some number of questions about the phase space, so you can prepare, you can understand. Okay, so now we are going to discuss go to the page number 2. Here we are going to the Maxwell distribution statistics or Maxwell distribution law, or application of the Maxwell distribution law application. Okay, here I have told you the 3 formula of the or 3 distribution formula for the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law, Fermi-Dirac and Bose-Einstein, how they derived and what was the concept. I'm not going to describe because that is the beyond of the syllabus. We are going to discuss here only the applications of the Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, Fermi-Dirac statistics, and Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay, so here when I have filled a gas in the container, okay, so I want to calculate the number of atoms or molecules at a particular speed. What is the number of particular speed? Okay, suppose in IT this BTech class, there are the total number of students 60 or 70, and I want to know that how many are the number of the students having the 80% in the type plus 2, and what is the number of students having 95% or more than 95, and what is the group of students having the 60% or between 60 and 70%. Okay, so in this way, when you have filled the system, you have constructed a system like you have filled a helium gas in helium in a container, then you want to calculate what is the average speed and what is the most probable speed and what is the VRMS speed, root mean square speed, or what is the speed at a particular, what is the number of atoms or molecules at this particular speed. Okay, so suppose the average speed is the 60 meter per second. Okay, so, surely there will be a number of or group of atoms that having the speed more than the 60, and there will be other group of atoms having the speed less than the 60. So if I want to calculate what is the speed of the number of atoms or molecules between 60 and 65 or 60 and 80, so I have to use the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution statistics, because this will follow the Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, because the de Broglie wavelength of this system will be larger than the interatomic distance. Okay, so how we are going to determine the distribution? Suppose you filled a gas in the container like the helium gas, and you divide theoretically to calculate your formula or the distribution formula, the whole system or the whole volume of the gas into different regions, which is called a small zone, which is called a zone. Okay, and that zone constitute the number of cells, because like a gas which is contained in a tube of 1 meter cube, 1 mm in the x direction, 1 mm in y direction, and 1 mm in the z direction. So the volume is 1 meter cube. Okay, so if you want to calculate something in 1 meter cube system, then you have to divide the system theoretically. You have to divide the system in many zones, and every zone is called a every zone is having some number of cells. Okay, cells. So there is a canonical distribution law which determine what is the number of cells, what is the number of cells in a zone having a particular energy. So the derivation of this formula is beyond of your syllabus, so I'm not going to discuss that. So only the formula is mentioned. This formula is the Ni is equal to, go to the page number 2. Ni is equal to capital A is the constant, Gi is the number of cells, like the number of states in the hydrogen atom, or number of states in the neon atoms or helium atom or whatever. So Gi is the number of cells or number of states. Exponential mass beta epsilon I. So epsilon I is the energy of which? Energy of a state or a cell. Cell means A is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3. Okay. So this is the energy of the particular cells, and beta is the constant, and the derivation of the beta, what is the beta, is beyond of your syllabus. So the beta is equal to your formula. We describe the number of particles which is having energy epsilon I, and these are the number of cells or state Gi. Okay, so in other words, you can write this formula, and because we are going to determine first the distribution of the number of atoms or molecules. So we can just for symbolically we are changing this formula. We are going to write NVDV. So because you are going to determine the distribution of atoms as a range, as a function of energy, or as a function of velocity, or as a function of the speed. Okay, so we are going to write this NVDV. I don't think there is a problem to understand you this thing. Why I have written NVDV, AGI exponential and beta epsilon I. So my first task in this derivation is to what is the number of states or what is the number of cells. okay, in the zone, because you have filled a gas in the container, and the whole system you have divided in the small zone, okay. And what is the number of states or number of cells in a zone, okay. So this is the my first task, or my first task is to first determine GI, number of states in the system, or number of cells. So GI, if you like, you have a you are constructing some house, and you have a volume of the cement and stone, small stones एंड सैंड, एक जो आप अपना घर बनाते हो तो उसके लिए रेत चाहिए और बजरी चाहिए और सीमेंट चाहिए, उसका जो मिक्सचर है वो आपने एक बनाया, तो उसका कुछ वॉल्यूम दिया है, और उससे आप क्या है ब्रिक्स बना रहे हैं, तो एक ब्रिक्स का वॉल्यूम अगर इतना है, देन यू विल बी डिटरमिन कि दिस वॉल्यूम से कितना नंबर ऑफ ब्रिक्स बना सकते हो, ठीक है। तो ऐसे ही क्या है, अगर आपको जोन का वॉल्यूम पता है, और एक जो सेल है, एक जो स्टेट है, अगर उसका डायमेंशन या वॉल्यूम आपको पता है, तो आप बता सकते हो कि इस जोन में कितना नंबर ऑफ सेल्स होंगे। दिस इज एक्चुअली द बेसिक्स how you can determine the number of cells or number of states, okay. So GI will be volume of the zone in phase space divided by the volume of one cell. So in the phase space we have determined what is the volume of the cell in phase space. The phase space which is described by the cis coordinates x, y, z, dpx, dpy, dpz. Okay, so there we have write the volume of one cell, that was that was h cross cube. So that's why GI will be volume of the zone in the phase space and volume of one cell in volume of one cell. So similarly, when you will study the semiconductors, because you are the IT engineer or scientist, you will study many things about the silicon technology or silicon devices, motherboard of the computers, and mobile chips, IC chip, operational amplifier, FET, effect transistor, and many things, many devices which are fabricated by the semiconductor materials. So in the semiconductor materials, you have here, I'm talking about the cell. In semiconductor material, as far as it is concerned, you have to determine the number of states, and then if the per state having the 2 electrons, then you will be able to calculate the total number of the electrons in a silicon atom, silicon material, or germanium material, or gallium arsenide, indium phosphide. You will study more in the third unit, okay. So this is equivalent here, finding the number of cells is equivalent to the number of, to find the number of states in the semiconductor material or normal material, okay. So what is the volume of zone in phase space, okay. So the phase space is described by the x, y, z, and px, py, pz, okay. So the volume will be in integration form. You can write triple sign of integration for the xyz, dx, dy, dz, and triple integration for the three momentum space, linear momentum space, dpx, dpy, dpz. So this will be the volume of the zone in the phase space, divided by, now like the, what is the volume of the one brick. So that is 1 centimeter cube, or 1 millimeter cube, or 1 whatever the volume of the brick. Similarly, so what is the volume of the one cell? That is the h cross cube. So if you divide the volume of the zone in the phase space divided by the one volume of the cell, then you will get the number of cells or number of states, or GI. Okay. So ultimately, x, y, z are the three dimension of the cuboid. In 10 plus 2, sorry, in the 10th class, 8th class, 9th class, you have studied the, to determine the surface area, volume of the cube and cuboid, pyramid, cylinder. You have studied in the many things. So x, y, z will be the volume of the cuboid. So you can write that that may be represented by the capital V, volume of the object having dimension x, y, z. Okay. and there are the three dimensions dpx, dpy, dpz. So that have to be determined by the some particular method I will tell you, and divided by the volume of the cell, that is h cube. So v upon h cubes, triple sign of integration dpx, dpy, dpz. So I'm sure that this is not difficult to understand up to here. Now we are going to determine the value of the triple sign of integration dpx, dpy, dpz. Okay, so I'm sure in the first semester in the mathematics classes you have studied the spherical coordinate system, rectangular coordinate system, and the cylindrical coordinate system. Okay, Hardik Bhasin. Hello, Hardik. Rahul Sood. Rahul Sood. Ritik Ronath. Ronath. Ritik. Roll number 48. Sagar Kumar. Vikas Kumar. Hello, Vikas Kumar. Am I audible here? Hello, Vikas Kumar. Has Batra. Yes, Bahal. Nitin Kadian. Ayush Goyal. Atul. Sonu Anand. Ayush Goyal. So have you studied the spherical coordinate system in the first semester in the mathematics paper? Ayush.
Exactly, I don't remember it. I have to revise it.
Okay, okay. So I'm sure that it was taught you the spherical coordinate system. So in a spherical coordinate system, you can determine the volume, surface area, total surface area, curved surface area, everything. When you are changing your three coordinates. Okay, so similarly, the momentum space in rectangular coordinate system or spherical coordinate system, you can determine the value of that sign of triple sign of integration dpx, dpy, dpz. So that will be 4 pi p square and dp. Okay, that will be 4 pi p square dp. So when you keep the value of gi in this way, then the distribution formula will be NVdV is equal to 4 pi A was the constant, V was the volume upon H cube, P square dP exponential minus epsilon upon KBT. Okay, so this is the in the system. This is the distribution of atoms or molecules as a function of the energy and momentum. So you have to convert you have to you have to write the formula either as a function of the velocity or sorry speed of the atoms or molecules or as the energy. Okay, so right now here the formula is the combined formula for the velocity and the energy. So I am going to convert this formula in a case of the velocity. So the energy term will be converted to the speed formula. So you know the if the atom having a mass and velocity, then the momentum will be p will be equal to mv. V is the speed and the p is the momentum. So you can write and you can convert. So ultimately the formula will be converted to mv dv is equal to 4 pi a capital A some constant v volume mq upon hq v square exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt dv, or b v square exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt dv. Okay, so this is the your formula, distribution formula of the atoms or molecules in a system. And you can see there are two the distribution formula is the function of the velocity, speed, and speed having the two functions v square and exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt. So this the result of this formula will be the combined effect of the two functions, v square function and the exponential function. Okay, so now we have to determine what will be the nature or behavior of this distribution formula. Okay, so see in the figure, on the y-axis you have plotted NV, on the y-axis you have plotted the V speed. So there is the average velocity V0. So below the average velocity, the behavior of the curve will be parabolic. Why? Because the below the average velocity, the velocity or speed of the atoms or molecules is such a slow, then in that case the v square function will dominate to the exponential minus mv square upon 2kbt function. So the whole behavior of the system at the speed below the speed of the average speed, it will behave as a parabolic. Okay, so the distribution of atoms or molecules will behave as a parabolic nature. Okay, above the average speed, it tend to decrease exponentially. Why? Because at a higher speed, the speed above the average speed, so the second term, exponential terms will dominate to the v square, and exponential function here is the decreasing exponential. So the distribution will decrease. So below the average speed, it is increasing, and above the average speed, this is the decreasing. Okay. So now this is the behavior we have discussed. Now we have to determine the there is a normalization constant b. So what should be the value of the b? So we have to determine. Okay. So NVDV is the distribution of the uh, number of atoms at a particular velocity speed v. Okay. So if you integrate this formula, like you integrate the dx or you integrate the dy, so you when you after integrating the dx you get the x, the total value of the x or total value of the y. So similarly, when you integrate the number of distribution at a given speed, what will this formula will provide you? This will provide you the total number of atoms or molecules, and that is the fix in the system. Okay, so that will be, if suppose the n is the total number of atoms, so n will be sine of integration 0 to nv dv. So 0 to infinity limits, the number of atoms will be from 1 to 3 to infinity, or maximum 1000, 10,000, or 1 million or billion, whatever. So that's why you have to use the limit 0 to infinity. Okay, so now you have to integrate this formula. Naman Pal, are you here? Naman? Hello, Naman. Yes, Bahal. Hello, Sonu. Are you here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Naman. Now we have to determine the value of the constant b. So up to here, it is not a difficult thing, but now you have to understand how you have to you are going to calculate the value of the b. So in this, see the integration. See the integration. Are you able to do this integration? Yes, yes, Bahal. Are you here? सोनू आनंद.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, यस बहल बताओ कि ये जो इंटीग्रेशन मैंने किया है यहाँ पे, इज इट ओके फॉर यू? यू हैव स्टडीड सच टाइप ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन इन द बीटेक फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर और नॉट? Naman?
Yes, sir.
So are you able to do this integration?
Yes, sir.
So what is the name of this integration? This is not the normal integration, na? So how you are going to do this? How you are going to carry out this integration? Kind of integration 0 to infinity.
Don't exactly remember the type.
Okay, okay. So okay, so no, because some question will be asked in the exam, minor and major exam, and question will be based on this integration, this type of integration. Okay, so okay, so you have to check. I'm telling you what is the name of integration, but you have to do. Okay, Naman is here.
Yes, sir.
Naman. So do you understand which type of this integration?
Sir, I have said that I don't exactly remember the type of integration.
Okay. So this type of integration, I'm sure you have studied in the BTech first semester. This is you have studied the gamma and beta function integration. Okay. So this is the gamma type integration. Okay, so if you don't study, then you have your mathematics books, or you go to the internet and search the gamma function and how the gamma function is going to use, okay, in a particular situation. So this integration can be carried out only with the help of the gamma function. So in this integration, here I have used the gamma function. Okay, so you please understand and try to calculate yourself using the gamma function. Okay, so I have calculated now the value of the constant d, that will be 4 pi n, and is the total number of atoms, bracket में m upon 2 pi kbt 3/2. So keep this constant d in the previous equation, and now we will get the distribution of the atoms or molecules. NB/dV is equal to 4 by n under root 3/2 m upon 2 pi kbt v square exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt dv. So this is the distribution formula at a particular speed or velocity of the system. And if you divide this number of atoms or molecules by the total number of atoms or molecules, like you have studied the probability in the 10+2, that there are two events, and if there is a particular event is NA and other event NB, and total number of event is N. So NA upon N will be the probability of the event having occurred event NA, and NB upon N will describe the probability of the event B. So similarly here, if you know the number of atoms at a particular speed, above the average speed or the below the average speed, and you divide the total number of atoms, then you will get the probability of that particular speed. Okay, so that will be described by the PV. Okay, so PV dV is equal to, if you want to calculate the probability, so in terms of the probability, you have to divide this distribution with the total number of atoms, that is the n. So when you write the probability function, n will disappear. So the probability will be PV dV is equal to 4 pi m upon 2 pi kb2 3/2 v square exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt. So student, take attention here, because there are the two distribution formula will be in the exam. One as a function of the velocity or speed, and one as a function of the energy. So okay, so when the distribution formula is as a function of the velocity, you may ask to convert this formula as a function of energy, or if the distribution is the function of energy, then you may ask in the exam to convert in as a function of the velocity or speed. So both type of formula are convertible, and I will give you this problem as an exercise or homework. Okay, so here you have plotted the 3 curve for 3 different temperature T1, T2, T3, number of atoms and the velocity, and the effect of the temperature you can see here, okay, in the graph. So student, this is the distribution formula of atoms or molecules when you filled a gas inside the container. Okay, and if you know the total distribution formula of the number of atoms, then you will be able to determine the total energy of the system, total volume of the system, total entropy of the system, total pressure of the system, whatever you want to calculate for your application. Okay, so now student, write a problem on the notebook, and this is very important. This problem may be asked in your major exam. Naman, are you here? Vikas Kumar, Sagar, Naman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please write this problem. Okay, calculate the probability. Calculate the probability that the speed of oxygen molecule. Calculate the probability that the speed of the oxygen molecule lies between 99.5 meter per second and 100.5 meter per second at 200 Kelvin. Calculate the probability that the speed of oxygen molecule lies between 99.5 meter per second and 100.5 meter per second at 200 Kelvin. So you have to determine the probability. So the probability formula you have just derived here. Okay. So Naman, can you determine the probability?
Yes sir, try करता हूँ.
PV is equal to 4 pi bracket में m upon 2 pi kbt 3 by 2 v square exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt. Okay, so v here is the average speed. So what should be the average speed here, Naman? Yes, Bahal. What should be the average speed here? V.
Sir, average speed तो उससे
Here there are the two speed has given.
99.75.
Okay, 99.5 plus 100.5 by 2. So this will be equal to
99.75.
no 99.5 plus 100.5 divided by 2. This will be equal to 100 meter per second. So this is the velocity v. Okay.
Sir 100 ही दिया आपने, 100.5 है.
हाँ मैंने कहा एक है 99.5 एंड 100.5 दो स्पीड है.
Okay sir. Okay
So
sir,
average
वो
होगा.
100.
Okay. Now in the probability function PV is equal to 4 pi mv upon 2 pi kbt 3 by 2 v square exponential minus mv square upon 2 kbt. So here you need also dv. So dv will be the difference. If there are two speeds v and v plus dv, so dv will be the difference. So you take the difference of 100.5 minus 99.5 will be equal to 1 meter per second. Very good. And now temperature T is equal to 200 Kelvin is given. And what is the Boltzmann constant Kb? Boltzmann constant Kb is equal to
1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23.
Very good. 1.38 into 10 raised minus 23 joule per Kelvin. Now m is the mass of the you are talking about oxygen atom, oxygen gas. Okay, oxygen molecule. So atomic mass of the oxygen will be m is equal to 32 multiplied by this is then the AMU. So atomic mass unit will be 1.67 into 10 raised minus 27 kg. So mass will be 32 into 1.67 into 10 raised minus 27 kg. So this is the mass of the oxygen molecule. Okay.
Yes,
Naman, so now you will be able to calculate the probability PV. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now write the second problem. Now write the second problem. So the problem is calculate the most probable speed, average speed, and root mean square speed. Calculate the most probable speed, average speed, and root mean square speed using the distribution formula NVDV. So this is your homework. In the next class we will discuss. And in the integration you have to use the gamma function. This is very important. Okay, Daman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो ये प्रॉब्लम करना घर में और इसमें तीनों ही निकालना है. रूट मीन स्क्वायर स्पीड, एवरेज स्पीड और मोस्ट प्रोबेबल स्पीड के बारे में आप जो है 10+2 में शायद थोड़ा पढ़ चुके होंगे. नमन?
Yes, sir. पढ़ा है.
Okay, very good. So now I'm sure that this will be easy for you to understand. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, student. Then thank you very much for your kind cooperation, and please carry out the this problem also. And your exam will be objective type. So small questions. Please take care of about the small questions, because the test will be objective type. तो स्मॉल जो क्वेश्चन है उनका जरा ध्यान रखना, वो आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके
Okay,
स्टूडेंट.
sir.
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you.
ओके, बाय बाय, टेक केयर ऑफ यू.